Hello, everybody. I'm Don Counts. Welcome into Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6, and we are here coming to you from the FPU studio, getting ready for the Breakfast Club Newsmakers, and we have our CEO, General Manager Britt here with us today. Britt?
Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Hot out there.
It's been hot.
Yep. Got a lot going on here, and the COVID thing is a serious situation and getting more serious every day, and we're taking it serious.
We take it very serious here at FPU, and everybody else is taking it serious. Our customers, we appreciate them taking all the precautions that we've put in place to come in, and our employees as well.
We have found during this time that we can pretty much do anything you need at the drive-thru. So if you don't feel comfortable coming in, we want to encourage people to come through the drive-thru, and also use things like Smart Pay and Secure Pay and Smart Hub, and Secure Pay. We have a lot of options available for folks that just don't feel comfortable getting out.
That's correct, and we'll help the customer any way we can. If they come up to the drive-thru window, and we'll try to take care of business just like if they were standing out there in the lobby. So, yeah, any way that they can want to make payments and not come in, we'll work with them best we can.
We're doing a lot of things here to keep the place clean, sanitized. We always have, but we're making other steps now.
We do. We got, we're still doing the wiping. We haven't cut back on much of anything since the day that we started when the COVID came out. And, we're still doing lobbies and desks and screens and all those kinds of things, or meeting rooms and kitchens and all the outside operating trucks, and the guys are taking care of that. Plus we're taking temperature checks every morning, and we got to keep our crews as one group together for separation if something did happen, because you're almost out of that crew for almost up to 14 days, if that's the case. But we're being very careful, trying to do the best we can of policing it, but it's getting more difficult.
Yeah, well, one thing too is you're with a company of 100 or so employees. I know you preach to us about how important it is for us to stay safe, trying because if it gets in here, it'd be very difficult for us to do business. So that's why you're working really hard, and we're doing everything we can to not get it in here, and we got to do what we got to do.
Yes, we do, and the difficult part of this is, if we have crews that have to go home and isolate, and then, it's a stormy part of the year right now, because we have had some bad storms to pop up, occasionally through the county, and as hot as it gets, the lightning gets more intense, causes more damage, and it's if you got to work on a very slim crew, which our time, only work 16 hours a day before you have to get rest. And we're trying to prevent everything of making sure that we can keep everybody here working.
I guess all the utilities around the state are going through the same issue.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. What about the extreme heat right now? You mentioned the heat. How are the guys taking care of themselves? What are you doing to help them try to stay as cool as they can be?
Well, we provide several different PPE for them to stay cool. Plus, up to this week, they've been coming in at 2 o'clock, working on trucks, sanitizing trucks for the next day to try to beat the heat a little bit. But, this week we're going back to normal hours. And, the next week, if the heat index gets back up to 104, 105 degrees, we'll go back to coming in at 2 o'clock, and they can work on their trucks and fix things, stuff like that.
On the electric side, I see a lot of pole changes going on. I guess that's a pretty ongoing continual maintenance thing that y'all have to do.
We do throughout the entire county. We get certain sections of the county inspected, and then we'll go to changing those poles. And we have 2 different type poles, for a priority pole, for it's just a bad pole, and we try to get the priority poles, change that as quick as we can. It's that could be pretty bad, and keep it from doing any damage to anything else.
As you drive down the road, you see a lot of different kinds of poles, wood poles to steel poles, and maybe there's others out there. Which one, I'm sure you have trouble with the wood poles, but they've been in the ground a long time.
Some wood poles, they don't last like they used to back several years ago. They could last up to about 25 or 30 years, but they've grown so fast today, you're lucky if you get 15 to 20 years. But steel poles, just depends on the application, how we use the steel poles. We're trying to set a steel pole. If we have a lot of equipment on that pole, we'll set a steel, because it's so complicated to come in and change a wood pole. But steel poles over, you're talking about 40, 50 years could rust at the ground as well. But the wood poles is what we use in most applications.
Which one's the most expensive?
The steel poles.
Steel pole would be more expensive. And last longer, you think? No?
Yeah, they last longer than a wood pole, but again, it just depends on what all the equipment is at certain applications going on that pole.
Well, let's talk about tree trimming. We've got a lot going on in the tree trimming, and this time of year, when you think about planting a tree, you need to stay as far away from the power line or any kind of infrastructure as possible, because that tree will finally get over there to it.
No, that's correct. And if you go out and set trees out, don't set them under the line, because actually we got a 30-foot easement from the center line. That means that if it's a single phase, you got 15 to 20 foot from each side. But if it's a 3-phase, you still got another. Always based on the measurement of the center line of the conductors. But you have to be careful as well, because if you grow a 60-foot tree and you're outside the easement, that's what we call danger trees. If they fall, they're tall enough to get into the power line.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some of the equipment you got over there. We got a new piece of equipment called the Tiger Cat. You might talk about it.
Well, the Tiger Cat's one that does a lot of brush, and it grinds and those kinds of things, and it can go through a right-of-way pretty quick and clear out a lot of brush and undergrowth, and it took the place of the Kershaw. We used to have the Kershaw, and this was a new piece of equipment that they came out with that's got more of the hoof kind of teeth on it that grinds as it cuts the brush.
Yeah, it gets it down all the way to the ground.
It gets it down to the ground.
Let's talk about the new piece of equipment, really nice, the Draft.
Well, the Draft is a piece that you can actually extend. It can go up about 70 feet, and it can get a lot of your overhangs, and it can just trim back, each part of the tree down to one side to get the right-of-way clear enough where you can keep the line energized.
When you and I drive down the road, you'll notice it more than me, but you'll see trees that's getting close, and you keep an eye on that kind of thing. And if anybody has problems in that area, we try our best to take care of it. But like I say, the trees are growing so fast today, and I guess they've always grown, but it seems like they're growing faster today that it's hard to keep up with.
Well, we've had a lot of water, even though it is hot.
That's right.
It has been a good growing year for the trees, and we're a little behind right now, but we're being very aggressive on keeping the trees trimmed as much as we can, because most of our outages are either caused by a tree or an animal or a wreck. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times the equipment, the way that it's built these days, it can't take the beatings like what they used to be when they was built many years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's move into the water department. We mentioned this last time, but we got the third year in a row the best tasting water, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, David's. We're proud of David and his men out there. They're doing an excellent job at treating the water, and with the new membrane system, it helps put out a better quality of water. And but you always got to be safe and try to provide the best drinking water we can.
It's amazing, that process with bringing water from the Elk River through the membrane filter to create a very fine product of water, and we're very blessed to have the Elk River running right through our community to have that water, and that's a good thing. But one thing about that is when you create the water, you have to have, there's a lot of infrastructure to get it to a home, from tanks to pipes, and that's an ongoing process of maintenance as well.
It is every day, and we're improving on that as we can, and as the funds become available. And right now we're trying to finish up our sewer rehab, especially with our 2 lift stations that we just completed. One just about set the fence at Country Club, and the other one on 64 Highway West, that we got to do a little bit more work out there. Then those get done, and we'd be in pretty good shape as far as equipment on our lift stations, but we still got a lot of sewer rehab to do, and waiting to see what kind of funding we can get on performing some more water projects.
Yeah, the sewer side is another side that's extremely complicated, a very fine process. There again, the infrastructure from getting it from the house to our plant and then back to Mother Nature, and it's a whole lot to it. And you have spent a lot of money. FBU spent a lot of money in the last 15 years on water and sewer for sure.
We have. Trying to get up with the new technology, especially, going to a Class A biosolids, where we use a centrifuge and dry out all the water, and it turned into a fertilizer. And, we've been successful with that. So we just keep improving as technology changes.
Let's talk about flushing hydrants on the water side. That has to happen for what reason?
The flushing of hydrants that we do is to maintain good water quality, because if you don't flush your lines, if your water's not used a lot, it's the same thing it is in tanks. Actually, you gotta let your tanks rise and fall and move that the existing water out, get fresh water in, and those kinds of things. So that's what we do actually when we flush the pipes.
So you don't just keep the tanks full, which would what you'd think that's what you do. You've got to let them cycle out.
That is correct, unless we got something, some type of emergency, or if we had to put some contingency in place, just like the flooding that we had, to be sure, if it got up close to the water plant, we wanted to be sure all our water tanks and all that was full to be prepared for something that else could happen.
Very good. There's a lot involved in all that for sure, and it's good as we have people and you take care of looking at keeping up with all that. One other big thing and a lot of big news, a lot of people really want to know about this, is the Broadband Grant. We did win a grant. We are going to move forward with some extension of broadband into the southwestern portion of the county. Let's talk about where we at in that system, that layout.
Well, right now what we're waiting on is engineering and design. That's where we are right now in that phase, and as soon as that gets done, then we'll start looking at seeing where we're going to get the material on order to get it in here. It's just a time process of following each step in detail to making sure everything is done the way it needs to be done. And
I'm sure across the nation, maybe world, there's a lot of fiber being installed, and so I'm sure getting materials is probably going to be somewhat of an issue.
Well, the materials, that's in anything we're doing right now with all of our services, and a lot of that's due to the COVID-19.
Right.
It's affecting the way that you get materials and supplies, and especially delivery times. Delivery times on materials are getting out more and more every day.
Right. Well, so I had this question a lot, and I don't know if you have the answer, but people out in that area want to know, how long will it be? Give an idea.
Well, we hope this grant money that we got, that could be 2.5 years.
Okay.
Now, we've applied for some other grants as well. We got the what they call the RDOF, is the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund. We've applied for that. Now we got to do some more engineering on that sections of the county. That's where you go out and you actually bid on portions of the county to be able to build telecommunications. And then we did apply through to ECA, that it came out with a CARES fund, and we don't know what Governor Lee's going to do on that as far as all the co-ops are going into, funding some more of that under the CARES Fund Act. So we're waiting to hear back from that. We hope that, it's available. But as of today, we haven't heard anything for sure yet.
Well, that's good that we're being aggressive and wanting to build out our fiber infrastructure, because the internet in the last 15 years or 20 years or how long it's been around has been good to have, but now it's almost becoming a necessity.
Well, it is now, because the new norm is absolutely new technology. So, everybody's doing virtual Zooming and all this kinds of things, and we got to be able to provide the bandwidth, the speeds, and those that's required to get that done. But also, there's folks out in the county that there's no broadband available, and we're trying to get to some of those areas as quick as we can, but it's just going to be a slow process.
Yep. I want to tell everybody, Britt, about our gas products. We mentioned it last month, and we have a section on our website. You can go over to our products page and look at some of the gas closeouts that we're having on some of our gas logs, our gas fireplaces, and some heaters, and so you can get a good deal. So we want you to get on there and check that out, and get ready for winter, even though it's really hot outside. But now's a good time to go ahead and take care of that. So if you want some good deals, we want you to check that out. Well, Britt, our Student Utility Board will be here before you know it, and that's something that's been going on, I guess, over 10 years, something like that, right?
Yeah, it's been over 10 years since we started doing that. Yeah,
we've got our students lined up from all three schools in our community. Fayetteville High School, this year we're going to have Tay Fox, Tejal Morris, and Carly Wakefield. And from Lincoln County High School, we've got Garrett Davis, Ashley Jean, Nate Reeves, and then from RCA, Ambria Brown. So we're getting ready to move forward with that, as school's not sure exactly which way they're going to go yet with COVID going on, but hopefully we can move forward with this, and we can social distance like we do here, like we're doing now, and we do that in all of our meetings and things like that. It's very important that we try to meet the guidelines to take care of ourselves, each other.
Well, that's correct. We use the Student Utility Board, which we meet in the big meeting room, and which is open to internal. We haven't opened it yet, back to being external use, and look forward to when we can do that. But right now, we're just taking all the precautions we can to be sure that we try to stay as safe as we can.
Yeah, you got a lot going on, as we have through the AMI program, the Advanced Meter Infrastructure. I think that's what you call it, right?
It is.
And a lot of things in the future coming up with that. One is prepay. That's we're looking at that in the next year or so.
We hope maybe by the end of the year we'll be up and operating on prepay, and we're still looking at different types of kiosks to make payments and those kinds of things. But we still got some more details we got to work out on that to be sure it's it's right and everybody understands how to use it. Also we're still working on our outage management, where we hope before long that we'll get the outage map where you can actually see it on the website of what's going on with the FPU versus big outage to any degree. And so we're moving that direction, and just a lot to be sure that it's correct.
Yeah, and there's a lot more to it than just flipping the switch. You got to make a lot of things got to go into place.
That is correct.
All right. Well, Britt, we again want to remind everybody to stay safe and stay separated and be careful out there. And, we want to remind everybody to use our drive-through and all the options that we have. That's good for us, good for you, good for everybody. If we can just encourage people to get used to this, because, like you say, it's probably going to be the new norm.
It's going to be the new norm.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Well, anything else we need to discuss?
No, I believe that's all I got, Don. We're just still making progress, working hard, and folks are going as fast as they can go. They still got to take care of themselves out in the heat, and some people might not think we're getting the lights on as quick as we need to get the lights on, or water fixed, or those kinds of things. But again, it takes time. Sometimes it's simple to fix, and sometimes it takes a little while to get it fixed. So.
That's true. And we want people to work safe. We have our whole crew on the third floor now doing working with safety every so often. We talk about that, and upstairs, but then you talk about it every day.
Yeah, we have a safety meeting going on right now with the job training safety program, and which we go through once a month, and then we got our own in-house safety programs that we cover as well. But the main thing is that it's what I tell all of them. Need to be sure you go home the same way you come into work this morning. That's our main goal.
And we ask the public to always move over, and when we see guys on the side of the road, and they'll be out there today working in the heat. And one thing, as you've been there on the side of the road working, and you know how you can be so tunnel vision and so working on your job and not realizing how close you are to cars, and then cars today with so many distractions and so many things going on. It's just best just to move over, slow down, and take your time.
Move over, slow down, pay attention, and that way the driver won't get hurt, or passenger, and our employees won't get hurt.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate what you do. We appreciate our customers, and we're going to keep on keeping on doing what we do every day as long as we possibly can, keep things going.
That's what we need to do.
All right. I appreciate it. We've had our CEO, General Manager Britt on the Breakfast Club Newsmakers this morning. We appreciate both radio stations getting this on. It's also on our YouTube channel. You can see it there, and you can also watch it tonight on Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6. So we'll see you back in here next month for another edition of the Breakfast Club Newsmakers from Fayetteville Public Utilities. I'm Don Counts. We'll see you back here next month.